It's my Relationship Friday here on the AM show. And here's what we're looking at today. You found that perfect woman. She's pretty, she's got a good job, she's nice, she's a homemaker. But there's a big but. She's all you want except that she's got children from a previous relationship. Do you still go ahead and marry that person? How do you know when you're ready to take on that baggage? That's what we're looking at here on my banner this morning. A very sensitive issue indeed, and I have a perfect guest to take us through. Of course, I'll open the phone line so you two can join us via phone. But we'll also go to Kumasi to get the views. Earlier, you heard Prince Minka, my colleague here in Accra, bringing us views from people in Newtown in Accra about that game that's coming up tomorrow between Ghana and Uganda. We will join Nuruddin Mohammed in Kumasi pretty shortly as well with views from the Ashanti region. But right now, though, my guest is Reverend Jonas Kofi. He's Associate Pastor at Victory Bible Church International. Good morning to you, sir. I'm sure you've come across this issue of...
That's right.
I've seen the perfect woman.
That's right.
She's everything that I dream of, except that she's got children. How do you, first of all, do you avoid dating such a person in the first place?
Thank you. Now, I know this is quite a thorny issue for many young men. Under normal circumstances, every young man would wish to have a woman who has not had an issue before, so that they start on a clean slate. However, this is a situation where you've met a woman who has all the qualities that you require in a wife. Added to that, she has children or as a child. Now, I think it's dependent on the individual. I think that if you love this woman for who she is, I think you must love her with all that she comes on board with. That's what I think.
So they say, love me, love my dogs.
That's right.
So should you be thinking about what kind of children they are?
Are you talking in terms of sex or
No.
male, female?
No, I'm talking about the characters of the children. You know, some children can be very troubling.
That's right.
And you know, when you have a child, children come first.
That's
I mean,
right.
your partner could come first, but
That's right.
seriously,
That's right.
your child would definitely come first.
That's right.
And there will be a time when you're thinking, oh, it looks like she likes the children more, or if it's the other way around, you know. So should you be thinking about who the children are in terms of how their characters are before you even settle down with somebody like that?
I think that this calls for very deep reflection. You must think very deeply about it. Assess the situation. Give yourself time. Assess the
How
children.
much time?
Well, I would say during your courtship, you would consider it. And well, it shouldn't take too long. If you come to the point where you realize that you cannot accommodate children, then you quickly tell her so that, you let her understand, and then you go both ways. You go your own way.
Would it make a difference if the children are not living with him or her, as in the man or the woman?
Well, since you are not married, it won't matter where the children are living, whether they're living with her or her parents. Now, but there's one thing we must understand about children. Children at various stages in their life have certain common characteristics. Children between the ages of, let's say, 4 to 7 can be very difficult handling, and you must understand and you must accept that this is how children in that age bracket are.
Okay.
Okay, so that you don't need to complain. You must understand. But I think more to that, besides the fact that you consider marrying a woman of that sort, you need counseling. You need a counselor to, direct you as to how to live with a woman who has children.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it easier if it was the man who had the children and not the woman?
I would say that when it comes to babysitting or taking care of children. I think women are better. So it's easier when the man has children. It's easier because women have a way of handling children. Women, have a hard time taking care of children. So the woman will do better. But if it's the converse way, then the man must brace himself up. If he really loves the woman, to love the children and then learn how to relate with these children.
Okay.
Knowing that, these children are going to be part of your future family.
You know, there's also that fear, I know for some men, that if a woman wants to settle down with you and you have children, initially they'll say, oh, no problem. And they would relate to the children as though they really, really love them. And then after you settle with them, then they begin to show their true colors. They were not really into the children after all.
That's true.
So some people would want to think about what is probably ahead, and and that delays them from settling down with some other woman.
You see, there's one thing we must come to grips with. Marriage is an arena of the mature, and it goes with responsibilities and taking certain hard decisions. And many cases, I understand where you're coming from. People would want you and not necessarily your children. And when you've settled, then they begin to show their true colors. I think that kind of attitude will not help the union. Very likely, it's going to create some very serious problems in the near future.
Yeah, but how do you know if this woman really like my children too?
Well, you see, we are human. We don't know everything. And sometimes there's a tendency of your partner hiding some things from you. I think to the best of your ability, observe your partner. Study her. Study her closely. And also listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. If you think that she has what it takes, or she's really into the relationship, you go for it. But if you get to a place where you are not convinced that this woman loves your children, then I think the earlier you go your separate ways, the better.
Do you seek opinions from the children about this potential wife or husband?
In a sense, you can ask the children how they see auntie. Do you like auntie? It is not everything the children say that would have to take. But in certain cases, the children may be speaking that which is the reality.
Okay.
So, well, in a sense, you listen to the children.
So say, I don't really like auntie. Should you be asking what about them that you don't like?
You have to. You need to. For all you know, the child may not have very cogent reasons why they may not like auntie. And so you may have to then educate the child. And then I think with time, the child can, change his or her mind. Yes.
I've heard about stories where because the children don't like another woman coming closer to their dad, they're children, but they're so protective. They try to make it difficult for any woman that's coming in between.
That's right.
How do you handle such a situation?
I think it all boils down to education. You need to take time, take the child out, and explain things to the child.
It's not like some by force love.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. In life, there is place for negotiation. Negotiate. Yes. You tend, if it doesn't work this way, you try the other means. Keep trying. Because if the woman is really the woman of your heart, it's not the child going to marry the woman, it's you going to marry the woman.
Yeah.
So you need to. And I know with time, children are susceptible to, the change of mind. So I think with time, the child can.
Is it a lot more easier if the man had a child and then the woman also had a child?
Well, then that becomes like some kind
you all
of balance.
have baggages.
Yes, 50-50, yes. So you bring them on board. Yes. It becomes easier. Because when one has an issue and brings the issue into a relation, there's a tendency of there being some kind of a self-centeredness. But if you have and I have, I think that we are into it. So.
But what if one child is a lot more difficult to handle? So the other partner is always like complaining about the other person's child.
You see, in this life, you never have a perfect relationship or a perfect family. In many cases, in every family, there's one child that is quite recalcitrant, and therefore, you just have to accommodate the child. and learn to live with the child. The child may not change entirely, but then you can also position yourself such that you can be able to relate with this child.
Okay.
There isn't much you can do about it. But I think with time, with prayers, with counseling, this child may not change, outrightly, but might tilt him or herself to suit, the family situation.
Okay. Do you still have to go through the counseling process, even if you've done it before in your previous marriage?
You have to. Counseling is not only for those now entering into marriage. You need counseling in marriage. There's something we call pre-counseling, pre-marital counseling, post-marital counseling. So you, as and when you think you need help, you must open yourself up to counseling.
Okay. The great thing about our Relationship Fridays is we let the people be a part of it. So let me activate the phone lines now. If you've got questions, you have comment you want to make, you can do so via these numbers: 0302 211 69102, 0302 211 69102. You can give me a quick call and then make it brief. Another thing that came up as we're looking at the issues, relationship issues that confront a lot of people, is the decision as to should you marry an ex, somebody that you dated before, but for some reason it didn't work out, and then you meet later in life and then you're thinking, okay, we could get married. Should you consider marrying an ex?
I don't see anything wrong with considering an ex. Now, this is my stance. In many cases, of course, maybe you dated this person when you were in your teens or your 20s. I have come to realize that in many cases, the causes that result in the breakup are on trivial grounds. Infantile reasons. And so if with the passage of time you realize that this person has matured and you were in one way or one point or the other you were doing well, I think it's not wrong reconsidering this person.
Okay, let me just speak to Sami and we'll continue with this conversation. Sami is joining us from Dansoman. Good morning to you, Sami. Thank you for your call.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you now.
I had a wife and then I have a child. But the child, he sometimes killed my wife. How do I handle it?
No, I didn't quite get that. You have to come again.
I'm saying that I have a child.
Okay.
But my child, he does sometimes kill my wife. She complains a lot. How do I handle it?
The lady doesn't necessarily like the kid. Is that what you're saying? Or is it
like she likes the kid?
Okay.
She likes the kid, but the kid behavior.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so how old is this child? And is this child a boy or a girl?
8 years.
8 years. A girl?
Yeah. A boy.
A boy. Okay. So how do you handle it?
Yes.
That's quite a tricky.
Older than the rest of them.
No, I didn't get the last one.
He's older than the rest of them.
He's older than the rest of the children. It means you have other children as well.
Yeah, other.
Okay. All right. So, Rev.
So he's talking about, is it a child who is 8 years?
Yes, the child is 8, doesn't really like this other woman who is, But let me speak to Della from Nkoko, and then we'll box the two up.
Right.
Hello, Della.
Good morning.
Good morning, Della. I hope you're well.
I'm very good.
Thank God.
And
Let's hear you.
I want to say, for me, I can't deal with that. I don't know if it is the mindset. Maybe because of the experiences of growing up. Like, I personally lost my mom. Then my dad has to get married again. My siblings also came in, both her case. And since then, life that was beautiful changed into something else. So personally, as I'm also growing up, I've met ladies that also have kids. And seriously, I don't like it personally.
Okay. All right.
So I don't wish for that.
Okay. All right. It's good to know what you're personally thinking. So let's, but thank you for your call. Let's see how you address Sammy's issue.
The issue of the 8-year-old child.
Yeah, not liking this woman.
You see, like I said earlier on, children between the ages of 6 and 8 go through a certain stage. They can be very difficult. Sometimes with boys, they are boisterous, they are outgoing, they can be rough. And you see, when you understand that the child is going through a stage, with that understanding, you need tolerance.
Okay.
You need to be patient. You must understand that, fine. And at that point, the children are very interrogative. They ask questions. And they can be very point blank, okay? So if the child is that way, then you need to be patient. Fine, the child has declared his intention. I don't like auntie. I don't like mommy. If this woman has now become like his stepmother. So you must look for a way of, managing the situation. You see, in this life, there are difficult times, and we can't run away from them.
Yeah.
We'll meet them one point or the other. So when it comes, and it is in your marriage situation, you must embrace it and work at it.
All right. Let's hear from Christy, who's joining us from Kumasi, I think. Hello, Christy.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for your call. Hi, Christy. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. My situation is, I didn't know he had a baby. But when I found out, it was a bit difficult. But
So how deep were you into the relationship when you found out that he had a child?
In fact, it was very difficult to deal with. But I loved him. I really loved him, and he also loved me too. So I didn't know how to deal with it initially. But through some counseling from some elderly people, like I should follow my heart if I'm interested in this stuff. He also came begging though.
Okay, so are you guys married now?
We are about getting married.
Okay, but the child is not a problem.
It's not a problem, but the other side is the other lady do not like me, you know.
Okay.
And I don't know how to deal with if maybe we get married and the plan is the child coming to stay with us. I don't know how to deal with that situation. I at times get confused about it.
Okay, so I'm curious. You said baby. How old is the child?
Yeah, it's now 1 year.
Okay. Well, I've got a little to say to you, but I'll leave the bigger picture to the Reverend. So you just hang on and then listen. I'll speak to Emmanuel, and then we'll go onto the street to find out what people are thinking as well. So Emmanuel, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you, Stephen.
Please, let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to contribute to this program. It's a beautiful program.
Thank you.
What I know about a woman having children before getting into marriage, as the Bible says that a woman who is submissive to a man is the mother of the children of the man. The Bible never says a man who loves a woman is the father of the children of the woman. If a woman have a girl coming into marriage with girls, there's no problem. Because girls who get married, I think their identity. And they will sign a different name, not your rival's name. But boys, your rival's name will continue to be mentioned in your house forever and ever, even will increase, multiply. But girls, no problem. A woman coming into marriage, if a man have a children, the woman is coming to bear the same identity with these children, and she will become the mother of these children. So a woman don't have a problem. In a situation where a man will be hearing his arrival's name in his house, there is where the problem is. So God looks at these things and says divorce is a bad thing. Truly is a bad thing.
Okay,
a
all
woman
right.
Who is, So
okay,
me,
so I think we get your point. Okay. All right, thank you very much. I will let you address Christy's issue, but I want us to also listen to what other people are saying about this.
As I me standing here, if I see a woman who have one child, I'm not sure that I can marry that woman. Why? Because I don't know the life of the woman before he born one. With the husband throw her away before I will go and carry again.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It depends. If I love him and I feel like I can stand the attitude of the child, yeah, I wouldn't actually see it as a big deal. If the family accepts me too, of course.
You marry him.
So far as if we love each other and we understand each other, I don't see any problem with that.
I mean, people who marry under such circumstances, do they usually have problems?
Oh, it depends, both of you. And it depends. Yeah, it depends. And it depends the way people will handle things.
How do you think they can handle things?
Oh, like getting closer to his child. You know, always trying to be closer to him and understand him with anything.
Like that.
Well, the advice that I give them is that every child is their son or daughter. Because the reason why I say that is that maybe, for instance, look at those people staying at they are rich, that they are staying alone in self-contained houses. You see that, well, if they look after their child and they grow up, now they have to go and marry and live their this thing. You see that old lady or old man, you've been that self-contained alone. But if he's able to look after somebody's child, that child, this woman is a godly woman, even though it's both from my biological family. But I take care of her, so let my child go and stay with that fellow.
Okay, so very interesting view. Some people say it like it's so simple, but anyway, those are your views. So let's end with Chrissy's concerns. Husband didn't, potential husband, fiance didn't, first of all, talk about the child.
Right.
She realizes later that he has a 1.5-year-old. She's got concerns.
That's right. I guess her concerns are genuine. But the good thing is that in her situation, they are now about to marry. And she can either decide to go in or opt out. It's a different thing when you are in the relationship. There, I would not advise that she backs out. So she has both options to look at. If she thinks, fine, I think what the guy did in the first place was not right. He should have disclosed that, I have an issue with somebody. So this is straight away, unfaithfulness. He has not been straightforward with you. Now, are you willing to forgive him? Do you love him?
Yes,
Do you
he
want
does.
to continue?
She does.
You see? On the other hand, will it bother you? Is it breeding mistrust? Can you live with it? If you think you are not comfortable, you see, the one thing about marriage, before entering into marriage, whatever you see before the marriage is going to magnify in the marriage. Okay? So you need to be very realistic. Let's not be, spasmodic or trying to be, artificial about it. You need to be realistic. Can I handle it? If I can't handle it, it's not sin to say, I don't think I can go any further. It rather save you a greater harm in the near future.
Yeah.
So that's the advice I'll give to, Our Lady.
I get your point, because there's also the issue of now that the child is a baby, will probably be with her mother for quite some time, and then it's even when it gets to the point that it's difficult, it's the courts that will decide. So the child may still continue to be with the mother.
Okay.
It means that when you're married, your husband will still have something to do with the other woman.
That's right.
Because of the child.
And you need to consider all that. Can you handle it? If you don't have that large heart to contain it, then you just I mean, tell him what you think, and then you go your separate ways.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I want to say thank you very much. You're a very straightforward person. We'd love to host you again.
All right,
for more.
Okay.
Reverend Jonas Kofi is an associate pastor with the Victory Bible Church International. Where is your headquarters? Are you at the headquarters?
I'm not at headquarters. I'm at our Ofankor branch.
Okay.
It's called Bethel Sanctuary.
It's called?
Bethel Sanctuary.
Bethel Sanctuary.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'll come visit one of the days.
Most
Thank you for your time.
All right.